Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited because today's video is going to be my entrance speed build of Equilibrio. And for those of you who don't know, Equilibrio is a mystical Four Seasons island, and this main part, like the entrance as well as the land bridge that this is going to lead into, is actually more of like an overgrown witchy vibe. So I'm using some dark colors, some greens, because I'm trying to be like a nature witch or something later on in the decorating. And also, as a little heads up, I did actually build up this entrance and the land bridge before, but something about it felt weird to me. Like I just didn't like it as much as I wanted to, and because I couldn't really figure out what was wrong with it and I couldn't really figure out how to fix it, the thing that I did was just to completely tear it down again and then start fresh, which is what I'm doing here. I didn't include the land bridge landscaping all the way because there's going to be another speed build for that, but basically I wanted to start that land bridge and, you know, have like a cliff where you climb up and something, and then I just kind of added cliffs around it, like to the sides, to kind of make it more I almost want to say cozy, but I don't know if like a witchy build is supposed to be cozy, but I wanted it to be more overgrown and not as like open. And so I added this like almost half circle to the left of the entrance build. And then before, in my previous build, it was kind of symmetrical and I did the same thing on the other side. I didn't really like that. And because this time I left a bit more space to the airport, I built up an additional cliff to the right-hand side. Also, the bridges on both the right and left side of this entrance are there because of the previous build. I'll actually end up replacing both of them later on, but they are supposed to basically lead into the spring section on the right-hand side and the summer section on the left-hand side. And then we are covering pretty much everything with vines. I mean, we have to use them. Honestly, they are such a game changer. I'm absolutely obsessed with them. And then one thing I knew that I wanted to do was place this giant vine right at the bottom because it gives you a beautiful view when you kind of pan the camera down. You'll see that later on as well. And then after some initial path struggles with this area too, where I'd used like a stone pathing code, like a 9-tile stone pathing code, I decided to switch it up and then go for this like single tile pathing because I felt like I could make it look very overgrown by layering designs over it. You will see that later on. So I just made the basic shape of it here. I also knew that I wanted to place its ruined arch, and then I added the glowing moss. I just absolutely love the way that this looks. I love how it looks when you walk through, and it's like exactly the type of vibe that I think would be great, or like that would make sense in a witchy area. And so I placed that all around with a type of spacing that I thought was kind of nice, and then I worked on the, you know, design codes over the in-game pathing. I started out with placing the weeds down so that I knew where to not use codes, and then I switched in between that like dirt path with the bricks, those planks, some leaf codes, and then also the daisy path, like a green mossy version later on. Then I went over to this right-hand side because I already knew that I had to adjust the bridge. I had removed the bridge and then wanted to place a diagonal one again. And so I moved that a little bit more to the left and up, I would say. But you'll see in a second that this actually ended up not really working out because I felt like the entrance to that bridge, if you can call it that, was just a little too close to the cliff. And so I decided to do that in a different way and instead kind of make this cliff even a little bit bigger. Like I instead wanted to embrace this like cliff idea a little bit more and then just change the bridge so that that would fit. I made sure that on this cliff I could fit 2 trees. That's, by the way, oftentimes how I landscape, is just to ensure that I can place enough like trees, etc. So this exactly holds like 2 trees. And then I went over and changed the bridge again. I decided to actually go for not a diagonal, but a, I guess, I don't know, is that a vertical bridge or a horizontal bridge? Because it goes horizontal, but it leads over a vertical river. I place a bridge, you know, I place a bridge. And then it was time to play the game of, can this be a tree? Which I love to play because I'm struggling with tree placements. I don't know if anybody else is, but I always am. And I've played this game for over a year now, and I still can't really figure out where to place trees. But essentially I wanted a mixture of cedar and hardwood trees in this entrance. And I also wanted to play with some different stages of trees. If you didn't know, you can actually stunt trees when they're not fully grown by planting a fruit sapling, any of the 5 fruit except for coconuts, in one of the surrounding tiles. And then they'll just stay that size forever, which is really handy when it comes to decorating. It allows you to create a lot more like depth and detail. And I seriously enjoy this. And then I also went around and placed some flowers. I wanted to use lots and lots of like natural items in this island because on previous islands, I've always experienced a lot of lag, which I honestly think I'm not going to be able to prevent here at some point. But for now, let's try and use lots and lots of flowers. So, you know, except for like a few ruined items here and there, and then that giant vine and stuff, I actually really placed just a lot of flowers. I especially used the dark flowers. I personally like the cosmos and the tulips. I'm not the biggest fan of roses and lilies, so I didn't use them in this entrance build. And then I also used the green mums because they have kind of the same color as the glowing weeds, but they add like another type of flower, which I just thought was really nice. I then also made the path to the left bridge, but I will be slightly replacing this bridge later on. It just moves like a tile back or so, so it's not too noticeable. But you'll see once I kind of change the pathing. And once again, I kind of found some spots for some of the glowing weed, and then I just made sure to add codes everywhere because no tile left behind is kind of how I built my islands apparently. And then I added some more details here and there. I realized that you could place stuff on top of the pillars, which is incredible. Like that's seriously such an awesome touch. So of course I used that and then went ahead and placed some more flowers and then worked on some more tree placements. It took me a while to figure these out. I didn't want to make you go through that struggle though, so I actually edited that out. But these 2 trees right by the entrance, I kind of struggled with a little bit. I also then decided to change the vine into a dark blue because I just thought that it kind of looks really whimsical. And for that reason, I also started adding a few blue touches here and there, which I think is quite unique and makes it look, yeah, more magical. I don't know. I really like it. I haven't really figured out a time for this island right now because like a time of day when I want to set it at, because it has like 5 different aesthetics, so I think this is going to be quite hard. I will of course show you a walkthrough of the finished area right at the end, and I'll actually show you that in this lighting right now, which is kind of like a, I don't know, 12 p.m. I think, like 12 p.m., 1 p.m. And then I'll actually show you a 2 a.m. walkthrough as well, so like nighttime, because all the glowing weeds and like illuminated items really work super well during that time, but I'm not sure it'll work for like the spring section, etc. So I'll kind of have to figure that out. I personally like to build my areas in like this lighting though, because I feel like I can kind of judge colors a little bit better. Like I feel like if I decorate at night or even let's say the 5 p.m. lighting, which is like that sunset lighting, I feel like I can't really judge colors. So I usually go for this and then just kind of figure it out later on, and that usually works pretty okay. As you can see, I now also moved on to this left part, so I wanted to decorate everything up to the bridges because there like a new area starts, but up to the bridges I wanted to kind of be in this aesthetic. And so one thing I knew I wanted to use was that moon in the background. Like I saw that empty spot and I knew that would be great for this entrance build. And then I just added some more like items, you know, the vine lamp, which I think is super cool, and some codes, and just added a bunch of details to this area. My villagers also made this a very interesting build. They were constantly walking around, and as cute as that is, you know, the single tile pathing is not the easiest to get around, and so once they're blocking that path, that's it. There's no passing, so that was a little interesting. Once again, lots and lots of natural items and codes, of course. I just feel like they really add that last bit of detail if you just add codes underneath items, especially where you can see them. I mean, there are some items that cover just the entire tile, but also for this like arch right here in the middle piece, you know, you do see the little leaf codes, which I think which, I mean, I feel like I've said that word way too many times, especially with my Plancore Island before, but it just makes it more overgrown and natural and detailed. And so I just like to do that. I, you know, switched some things up again because I noticed that during, like, while running around, it was really, really annoying to walk to the beach. And so, yeah, I mean, I tore this entire entrance down before this, so I would like to say, don't be afraid of tearing stuff down again if it doesn't feel right. I usually have a certain feeling already when it comes to certain areas I've built, and when that isn't really great, but I keep moving forward, I'll usually regret it later on and then redo it at some point. So if you feel like something's not right, then don't hesitate changing it, you know, like that. Seriously, it's just a lot of fun because you get to keep working on an area, which is kind of awesome. So like I mentioned before, there will be another speed build after this with my land bridge build. It's a curved land bridge this time. You kind of already saw it when we built it at the beginning, and then you'll also see a glimpse of it in the last bit at the very end when we kind of walk through the entire area. And then it ends up in my house, which I also think would be a separate speed build. I'll let you know about it and see how long that video would be, but make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss the land bridge speed builds. And also, of course, make sure to give a thumbs up to this video if you enjoyed it. It does help with the algorithm, and I would be very grateful for that. Again, we are adding details all the way up to that bridge part, and then I thought that this would be a perfect placement for the ruined pillar. And then we are continuing with the ruined items on this little beach portion. I really thought that this was also part of the entrance because it still has a like witchy aesthetic, and you kind of see it a little bit from the entrance. So I decided to include it here. And this area I also struggled with. I actually tried two different things here before. Like I just planted flowers and then put the ruined items like randomly all throughout the beach. I didn't really vibe with that. And then at some point I decided to try out like a circular build and include the different, I used the star clocks because I like the size. You have to turn them around, you know, to hide the clock part. But I used the different star clocks for the different seasons. So bottom right is spring, and then it goes clockwise. It goes, you know, summer, fall, and winter. And later on you'll see me place something in the middle too. And I then planted a lot of flowers all around this. The middle part doesn't have any flowers, but I added some leaf codes later on. And this is kind of like the power circle, you know? This is not supposed to be touched or brought out of like balance, because then the entire island would collapse. If you're very confused about what I'm talking about, I came up with like a storyline for this island. I made an island theme trailer. If you do want to watch it, I'll of course link it down below. I also talked about this theme in my last video. I also linked that one down below if you're a little bit confused. But essentially, yeah, this is the power source. This is what makes this island stay in balance, and that's pretty cool. I really like this beach build. I know a lot of people don't like beaches, and they are quite hard, but I usually kind of actually enjoy building on beaches and kind of making those fit the island. And then here we are just going back into that area on the left. Yeah, my decorating is most of the time all over the place. Like I'll start 100 different areas, which is probably why my islands take so long. But I just went back in, you know, added lots of more weeds and stuff like that. And then also a few more pillar items here and there. And then the last bit that we're doing is this top bit of the land bridge that you kind of see from the entrance. And we also added some designs, and then the entrance build is basically done. So here you have the finished area. If you pan down, I quite enjoyed this view. I'll show you this in the 2 a.m. lighting in just a second. Once again, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss any future Equilibrio content or anything other Animal Crossing related. I think I'll be making some pathing related videos very soon, which I'm super excited about. And then also make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. And then I will just let you enjoy the rest of this in silence, and I hope you have an awesome time until I see you next time.